This is my third video on cruise eSIMs, and in this video I'm asking whether or not they actually work because there's been a lot of mixed feedback in the comments of my other videos. Well, cruise eSIMs promise you'll stay connected in the middle of the ocean, but here is the truth. Your experience doesn't just depend on the type of eSIM you buy, it depends on the ship and the journey you're going on. Let me explain. Cruise eSIMs sound amazing. Install one and you've got internet wherever your ship sails. Well, the reality is a little bit different. Cruise eSIMs don't directly connect to land towers like they do in port. Instead, they hook onto the ship's own onboard mobile system, often called Cellular at sea or Wireless Maritime Services. And this system is basically a mini cell tower on the ship. It picks up your signal, then beams it through satellites and back to your eSIM provider's network. And here's the key. Coverage depends on the ship's system. That's why two people, both using the same provider like GigSky, can have totally different results. On one ship, the connection might be slow and unreliable. On another, it might be reasonably stable and efficient. It's not that the eSIM company changed, it's that the ship's tech and satellite bandwidth will set the limits. Some cruise lines have invested a lot more into their onboard networks. So Royal Caribbean and Celebrity, they use Starlink on many ships now, which gives faster, more stable Wi-Fi. But cruise eSIMs still run through the older maritime roaming systems, so results can vary. Carnival, Norwegian, Princess, MSC, they mostly rely on Cellular at sea or WMS, which can be patchy, especially on the older ships. The newer ships tend to have stronger satellite links and therefore better onboard networks. So yes, the line you sail on and even the age of the ship can make a big difference. I've said it before in my other videos, but let me say it again. Cruise eSIMs are best when you only need light use like messaging, maps or emails. You don't want to pay for a full price Wi-Fi package, which is hundreds of dollars on some of the ships, or you want a backup option in case the ship's Wi-Fi is down. But for that heavy use, the streaming, the video calls, the big data file downloading or uploading, they won't replace the ship's Wi-Fi. So you really need to consider what you want the access for. To get the most from a cruise eSIM, use it sparingly at sea and switch to a regional eSIM in port for faster, cheaper data. I've done another video on this and I'll link it up here. You'll see the link up the top right of this video and in the description section below. Another smart tip is to always download offline maps, books and entertainment before sailing so you've got access there. And think of your cruise eSIM as a safety net, a way to stay connected to family and friends, but not your main satellite internet connection. So here is the truth. Cruise eSIMs do work at sea, but your experience depends less on the eSIM provider and more on the ship you're sailing. I've put a little graphic up here and you can take a screenshot or pause this and have a look and see what ship you're sailing on. But look, I have been on Norwegian Sun, one of the older ships, and I went across the Pacific and I did get very good internet. Yes, it dropped out at times and it wasn't perfect, but it certainly met my needs of being able to use apps, emails and stay connected. So consider what you want it for and decide whether a cruise eSIM is right for you. And maybe that's not such a bad thing if you've got no connection, because sometimes being out on the open sea without constant connection is the best connection of all. Wherever you're going on your cruise, have a fabulous time and of course, happy sailing. Bye for now.